The Clash with Haaland event brings a new troop, the Giant Thrower, a new spell, Yellow Card, and an epic piece of equipment for your Barbarian King. Let's tell you everything you need to know. Erling Haaland will be your guide for this event, and in fact, he has kicked out the villager from all of the tutorials in the game. For this specifically though, he says, "Are you ready to kick off an event filled with exciting matches? Attack multiplayer bases to earn footballs. As you progress, you will earn golden boot medals and other special rewards. The more footballs you win from your opponents, the more golden boot medals you collect. My friend, the Giant Thrower, that's the limited edition troop, can assist you along the way, and you might want to try out the yellow card spell too. You probably will. Spend your golden boot medals for exclusive rewards at the trader shop. It's time to go out and raid other players to collect footballs. Good luck." So there will be some footballs you can collect each day. You get 100 to start, and within the football camp, this is where you will get a little introduction to the event, but I'm going to talk you through it all anyway. Attacking in multiplayer allows you to collect the footballs. This time around, they will be located inside of 4 random defenses on the base, so I will just be sniping those off with the limited edition Barbarian Kicker troop, and if you're not in Legends League, you should be able to gain a lot of these quite quickly. It does not matter what league you are in, you can gain up to 450 of the footballs when the event first starts. In Legends League, since you are limited, you can gain up to 518 of the footballs per attack. Collecting 16,000 footballs gets you to the end of the track, and you can claim 3,100 golden boot medals from the free pass. I'll go over a full list, but buying the event pass increases your rewards drastically. You can support a creator beforehand by entering their code. My code is Judo, and it is very much appreciated. By purchasing this, you also get 1,000 bonus footballs to get you started, and that is enough to unlock the Giant Thrower. Getting to 3,000 points is then when you unlock the yellow card spell, but I'll go over how these work alongside strategy after we've finished the event details. There is then also a bonus track where you can earn an additional 1,560 medals. This requires an extra 32,000 footballs in order to get, and presumably creators will again be provided with a link for a few additional medals, which I will share on my social media channels if that's the case. When it comes to ore, you can claim 5,000 shiny ore from the free side of the pass, 400 glowy ore with an extra 600 from the event pass, and 80 starry ore from the event pass. The 30% training boost is always nice and does, as ever, stack on top of your gold pass perk. And for this event, we have the football camp decoration on the free side of the pass and the victory milk decoration on the paid side. Moving to the trader shop, you will be able to get 9,660 medals in total by completing the bonus track and purchasing the event pass. I'm sure you will be able to purchase more from the in-game shop, but let's tell you what I would purchase with these medals. Obviously, they give you enough medals from the free side of the pass to purchase either the epic piece of equipment, the Spiky ball for the Barbarian King, or the legendary Football Queen hero skin. If you are a free-to-play player, maybe you do want to have the occasional hero skin. The Spiky ball will no doubt come back to the trader shop for 1,500 gems as per the previous epic pieces of equipment. But for me personally, this is what I would get. You don't necessarily want to spend gems on it if you don't have to. I always like to get all of the hero skins as well. So the Football Queen is something I will be getting alongside the Bestest Ball, Golden Boot, and Triumphant Trophy. If you only care about progression though, the ore is always good to purchase because you can't just go out and farm that like resources. If you play very actively, the glowy ore is probably where the bottleneck is for you, but it really depends on how you're upgrading your hero equipment, so I would go with whichever type of ore you require for your upgrades. Aside from that though, another good option is the builder potion and the research potion. Because you have the training boost, you're going to be able to farm resources faster during the event, so the time-based magic items are better. You can also opt for the boost looks, but if you're able to utilize the potions effectively, then they will give you better value. Just so you know as well, the trader shop usually stays open for an extra 1 to 2 days after the event finishes to spend your medals, but we haven't had clarification on that this time around, so just make sure you don't miss out. Let's now go over the giant thrower troop and the yellow card spell, then we'll discuss the spiky ball. Starting off with the giant thrower, this has a special ability when first deployed. It acts similar to a super baller, throwing a football, dealing huge damage each time it hits the ground. If we were to compare stats of those troops, the hit points for the giant thrower is greater, and whilst the damage per second looks less, this is when the giant turns into a regular giant after that special ability. That's why it says defense targeting. It is 15 housing space, so much less than the super bowler, but you obviously only get that throw-in ability once. But it deals a lot of damage, 1,650, and that hits the ground 3 times as well. What you have to factor in though is that each one of these strikes will be dealing that damage to a different building. Only if you attack vertically or horizontally in the base, you can get it where 2 out of the 3 bounces hits a single building, and that is if there is a maximum of a 1 tile gap in between those buildings. But for the most part, it's going to take you multiple giant throwers in order to take down a defense. Alongside a rage spell though, which increases the damage by 180%, this can mean you can snipe off defenses a lot easier. For example, should you attack the town hall under rage, you can almost take that out with 1 giant thrower. An earthquake would help you to take that down. So that is one of the use cases you might look for, especially on bases where there is a high damage defense behind the town hall. You could take that down at the same time because the football reaches quite a distance since it bounces 3 times. One thing to note on the giant thrower is that for the initial throw-in ability, it is not defense targeting, so you do not have to activate the town hall. It is only after it has thrown this initial ball that it then turns into a regular giant and therefore becomes defense targeting. However, in that initial phase, it will not fight back to any defending clan castle troops or skeleton traps. So whilst taking down the town hall and major defenses around it is one technique, you could utilize that on other areas of the base as well, since the giant thrower has a 7 tile range. This means you can take out buildings on the perimeter, even the first line of defenses, and the giant thrower can still target defenses that are deeper into the base. Not to mention, the football will bounce even further, so you can pretty much reach the core. And the best part is you can outrange a clan castle, so you can take it down without having to deal with the troops inside. Have you recognized anything with these clips? That's right. The giant thrower will also break open walls. So it's a little bit like the bomber from the builder base, but think about it, the giant thrower is only 15 housing space, a super wall breaker is 8 housing space. You might be able to use 1 giant thrower to break 2 layers of wall to help with your queen charge. On those bases where the walls are set up to mess with the wall breaker pathing, you can just use this troop to open the base, snipe off a defense, and that's what I think it will be best used for, funneling a section of the base and trying to snipe some defenses. And before anyone comments about using this in the battle blimp, whilst that would be fun, you cannot use limited edition troops in your clan castle. Out of the giant thrower and the barbarian kicker, I'd have to say the barbarian is my favorite. Whilst the level of the limited edition troops is based on your town hall level, the yellow card spell is always level 1. You can unlock it at town hall 6. Since you need to be town hall 6 to access the Coc Haaland event, it is the same throughout the rest of the levels. It will lock down a defense or defending hero for 15 seconds. Your troops will not attack the defense, but it's not like the invisibility spell because the defense also won't attack your troops. So it's a little bit more like a mini overgrowth spell, but just for a single defense. But there are a couple of advantages to this. Firstly, it is very easy to use. You don't have to worry about pixel perfect placement. You essentially just select the yellow card spell and tap the defense you want to give the yellow card to. Secondly, you might just want to lock down a single defense. The Overgrowth spell has a huge radius. It might benefit you to just turn the sweeper invisible so that your blimp can get to the correct location, because the yellow card spell has nearly 3 times the duration of a freeze. Another defense you might want to do this with is the Eagle Artillery. Since it has such huge range, you can lock it down early before your troops get there, and by the time the yellow card expires, then your troops are pretty much on top of it, ready to take it down. That's what I think will be the best use case of this spell, specifically air attacks it will be good with. I guess you could maybe use it for a singular defense to redirect the Grand Warden's fireball, but as ever, let me know in the comments any ideas you have for this spell. Onto the Spiky Ball, the new epic piece of equipment. Being an epic, it does go up to level 27, and initially at level 1, it only hits 3 targets. However, at level 3, this jumps up to 6 targets. This then goes up to 7 at level 9, 8 at level 18, and finally 9 targets at level 27. So much like a lot of equipment, you're getting better stats per ore at the lower levels. However, at level 27, the projectile damage is 3,250. Should we compare that to the Royal Champion's Seeking Shield? This deals 2,500 damage and only against 4 targets. Now, I don't use the Seeking Shield anymore, I will be honest, but this deals a lot of damage for the Barbarian King. And there is also the fact that the hero boosts, remember, these are additional stats for your heroes that are applied for every single attack. This equipment now provides the greatest DPS increase to your Barbarian King with 222 at maxed level. So perhaps if you are someone that utilizes the passive ability and that of the Vamp Stash, the Spiky Ball could be a good pairing with it, because then you can try and use the projectile damage wherever you best see fit. You don't have to worry about wasting another active ability. On that same token though, remember you're not always going to get this maximum projectile damage. A lot of buildings have significantly less hit points than that, so if you are using the ability more towards the perimeter, likely you won't get the highest amount of damage, since the Spiky Ball attacks any building, unlike the Seeking Shield, which is defense targeting. What that means is it can be a little bit less predictable as to where the Spiky Ball will go. I think it's something that won't be a set it and forget it type of equipment, because every base is slightly different, and it might be that you can't path the ball to effective areas if it's just going to ping through collectors on the outside. Clearly, on attacks where you are sending the Barbarian King into the center of the base alongside your main attack, you can get a huge amount of damage, but is that better than just using the Rage File and the Giant Gauntlet? That combination, we know, is a lot more flexible against a variety of different base layouts. I think much like a lot of equipment, it is something that comes down to personal preference, and that is actually what I like about the equipment. You can really tailor things a lot better to the layout you're going up against. I'm sure, much like the Fireball for the Grand Warden, there will be some really creative ways that we can set this up using Overgrowth and invisibility spells, maybe even the yellow card, so that you can send the Spiky Ball into specific areas, wipe out defenses, set up the funnel. That's most certainly what it will be best used for if you can pull it off. But that is everything you need to know about the Clash with Haaland event. I hope it has helped you, and if you need help with any of the challenge levels, I have that playlist linked on your screen. Enjoy the rest of your day.